but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill. Fill you like a pill to get my fill. No, do me in the worst way. Don't let me sleep, never say sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another amazing match here at the Rose Cup. I'm your play-by-play for the evening, Captain Jack, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Mega Lad on the color casting role this evening. And a map differential of positive 16 as they entered the playoffs for the Diamond Division. We saw them go up against the Papegas in the quarterfinals, ended up finding themselves victorious, moving on to the semifinals where they faced off against That's Crazy, and I believe ended up finding themselves here in the finals in a 4-1 during that semifinals match. Pachimari Ninjas has just been a train wreck story in a good way, undefeated throughout the entire season. The Pachimari Ninjas were, if I can pull this up really quickly, Pachimari Ninjas were 10-0 with a map differential of positive 33, ended up finding themselves playing Enigma in the quarterfinals, CGC Sunstone in the semifinals, and now are here in the finals to face off against Thx4Scrims. Let's go ahead and get into the action and see how these teams are set up. It looks like for the side of Pachimari Ninjas, they're coming in with a Snoats composition as the tackle ends up coming in from Dream Duck. It's going to get taken out by Evan in return, though. Not going to be a fun way to start this off. Evan getting the double. Thx4Scrims looking to take control of the objective as Zelleros falls. This is a 4v6 fight as we see the freeze come in from Azar. The wall's going to come up, trying to protect as the 22 guy follows up onto Introvert, and it looks like Thx4Scrims Esports going to go ahead and lock down the objective and start their percentage climb, 5% and climbing.
Yeah, and Thx4Scrims really started off that that fight rather well with taking control of the high ground just to keep themselves elevated above the enemy, especially with that Mei in play. Always terrifying.
It is. That Mei can do a lot of damage to a goat. It's the Shatter coming in from Sir Epic Goose, but looks like it gets absorbed with the Transcendence from Introvert. Here comes the Trans versus the Rally now. Blizzard getting popped out. Diva Bomb. Goodness. Oh, sorry. The Blizzard came online, but the Diva Bomb went out. Now the Blizzard's coming out. Not able to get eaten by the 22 guys. It looks like Jeebus Crust going to get the first pick on to Sir Epic Goose right there as they continue to fight for control of the objective, 45% and climbing right now for the side of Thx4Scrims. Zelleros ends up taking down I Stutter as they go ahead and move into the objective. Giannis following up on to Evans. The only one left on the objective right now is Winxander, and will end up getting smashed by Dream Duck's hammer at the 61% mark. We'll see this swap over to the Pachimari Ninjas.
And the Pachimari Ninjas love that fight. All they had to use was use Blizzard. On Thx4Scrims side, they used almost every single ultimate starting that fight with the Shatter and just got nothing out of it. I mean, they did get some point percentage, but now you have a huge snowball potential coming in from Ninjas.
Well, it looks like we're seeing Thx4Scrims trying to play a little sneaky. They know that Maywall's going to try to come up to separate them. And so, oh, the Shatter coming in from Dream Duck. Doesn't seem to get much anything. Shatter in return. The Graviton holding up a majority of the team with the Transcendence from Introvert. And Iana's popping the Rally right there. Dream Duck ends up getting the triple on Brainiac, Sir Epic Goose, and Evan. That's going to go ahead and clean up control of the high ground right there, with the only one left being the 22 guy getting incredibly staggered, not being taken out whatsoever until Azar goes ahead and punches her right in the face. Here comes the tackle. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, but ends up getting frozen out. The Shatter coming out once again from Dream Duck ends up cleaning up the nano used by Stutter, who came back out as the Ana during that fight. 67% and climbing right now for the Pachimari Ninjas as they surpass Thx4Scrims.
And Thx4Scrims, they try to engage on that 6v5, it's just not working, but Thx4Scrims did switch over to the Ana once they realized there's no Diva in play, which is, it does give them that significant advantage with the anti-heal capabilities and just the general healing that Ana herself can output. It's just a matter of being able to utilize that and not getting staggered out, but they finally are equal.
Oh goodness, here comes the Blizzard! Gonna look to get the entire team as the anti-nade Graviton comes down. It holds them in place, but it's not gonna be enough. The Transcendence getting popped by Introvert, as well as the Shatter down from Sir Epic Goose. 22 guy looking to try to save the day, gets the double on Azar and Dream Duck as overtime ticks away right now. Graviton coming out from Zelleros looking to clean up as Jeebus Crest takes down Evans. Sir Epic Goose falling to Zelleros and Introvert getting the kill, and D-Mech onto the 22 guy. Giannis is able to follow up onto Winxander as the Rally gets popped by Brainiac, now getting popped by Giannis as Dream Duck ends up taking Brainiac out of the fight. The only one left near the objective is Sir Epic Goose, and we will see the Pachimari Ninjas taking first objective here on Busan.
And I think that's just Pachimari Ninjas played the Mei extremely well. There was never really a fight that Thx4Scrims could get where it was a 6v6. They always either had somebody walled, somebody staggered. And at the end of the day, it did just come down to that ultimate game. And Blizzard is extremely powerful with the GOAT's composition just because you're all grouped up so you can't really move.
That is really what it ends up coming down to. Let's see if Thx4Scrims can turn things around as we move to Busan downtown.
This map's always fun, you know, you could flex around on some Widow, you could do some crazy things. It's always fun to see what teams can cook up.
Well, it looks like what we're going to end up seeing is a dive composition coming out from Thx4Scrims with a triple DPS, excuse me, coming out from the side of Pachimari Ninjas. We're going to see Zelleros, Giannis, and Azar coming out on the Widow, Genji, and Sombra, which should be an interesting composition for this this dive comp. Point 2 guy ends up getting hacked in the backline as the point getting ready to unlock. Sir Epic Goose ends up taking down Introvert and Stutter. Follows up on Giannis. The Reds coming in from Jeebus Crest onto Introvert, bringing them back into the fight, but Thx4Scrims is going to go ahead and take control of the objective as Dream Duck coming back in on the Hammond ends up getting taken down by Winxander.
And this comp from Thx4Scrims, it really shows that they did their research for this match. They came to fight Pachimari Ninjas today because they knew coming into this that the triple DPS comp is what they like to run here on Busan. And this is a perfect counter to it. The Winston can just do so much cleave damage against all these squishy heroes, albeit besides Hammond, and absolutely just tear apart teams.
Well, the question is, will Giannis end up being devastating with that EMP? If we're looking right now how Thx4Scrims is keeping grouped up, it could be detrimental to them. As we see the 22 guy getting hacked once again, the minefield's gonna get popped out by Dreamduck as Introvert takes down Sir Epic Goose. Here comes the blade. Or no, sorry, just the dash. Just a whole bunch of dashing going back and forth. Zelaros back in as the Soldier 76 ends up getting the rockets on Winxander as Giannis ends up taking down the 22 guy. The only one left is Brainiac, will also fall to Giannis. And at the 53% mark, we'll see Pachimari Ninjas take control of the objective.
And really interesting there, we see the switch offs coming on the side of Thx4Scrims where they give up a Transcendent. Stutter decides to give it up for the Ana just because of the fact that there's no Diva on the other side. It is helpful. The sleep darts could be huge, but there's a Nano Blade waiting as it comes in.
Oh, here it comes! The Nano Blade with the Valk coming in, looking to do some damage, ends up taking down Stutter, but Evan follows up onto Dreamduck coming back in as the Sombra. Giannis following up onto Brainiac, and at the 29% mark, it looks like we might be seeing a swap over back to Thx4Scrims Esports. That Genji from Azar, not the best thing to be running right into a Winston. Dreamduck trying to distract on the point, ends up getting hacked, and will end up getting taken out of the fight as control goes back over to Thx4Scrims, 57% and climbing to 42%. I do want to note in the chat, I apologize that I got the composition wrong originally for the side of Thx4Scrims. It's floats. It was floats that they were running at the beginning, not dive. My apologies.
But in that fight right there, Winxander is the hero. He gets the beat off, but crucially gets it onto Stutter on the Ana because that was the target. Ooh, the action starts.
Yeah, the action already beginning with the quad EMP. Dreamduck gonna come back in as the Rhine ends up taking down Sir Epic Goose as the Honest follows up on Stutter. The Diva Bomb EMP combo of Evan and the 22 guy tie it up as Winxander ends up taking down Zelaros. Introvert able to take down Winxander in return, and the 22 guy gonna get D-Mech 95% and climbing for the side of Thx4Scrims, and it looks like they're gonna get capped out at 99 with control moving back over to the Pachimari Ninjas, 45% and climbing.
And Thx4Scrims, I mean, you'll take that. You got to 99. You forced a little bit of switching now onto the Somber Goats composition on the side of Pachimari. You forced them off of comfort heroes, but picks like that don't exactly make your fight a whole lot easier.
Well, it looks like they are going to try to come in and do this once again. Brainiac ends up getting picked off very early in the fight, going to end up swapping over to the Pharah, with Stutter now coming in as the Mercy. So they're looking to try to take control of the air in hopes that that will be exactly what they need. On the side of Pachimari Ninjas, it seems like when we saw Dreamduck swap over to the Rhine, they actually swapped over to a full Ghost composition to try to take control. Brainiac getting the boop to start things off onto Dreamduck as the Primal comes in from Sir Epic Goose, as well as the V-drop from Winxander. All they need is to control this point for just about a couple seconds. As Stutter coming back in with the Transcendence, trying to distract on point as long as possible, but it will be long enough for Jeebus Crest to get the boop on Sir Epic Goose. Azar following up on the 22 guys. The Graviton comes out, ends up missing. A shatter coming down from Dreamduck as the EMP comes in from Giannis. Ends up getting a triple. Dreamduck and Zelaros cleaning up as Giannis getting the final, and Pachimari Ninjas surprisingly bringing it back at the very last minute, end up taking Busan, making it 1-0 here in the Diamond Division Finals.
Yeah, it's always just interesting to see the compositions, the switch-ups. You can switch at the right moment like Pachimari Ninjas did at the end of that Somber composition. It can really work wonders for you. That's the biggest thing with Overwatch, is you have the ability to switch, you have to use it.
And that was something that we were seeing a lot of throughout the match. even saw a swap from one set of DPS, a more of a dive-friendly version, to more of the Pharah Mercy trying to control the air. But there are other times where you see Pachimari Ninjas the complete flip on its head, going from that triple DPS composition to going straight to goats, giving up every ultimate that you possibly have charged up. There's a risk inherent with that, but the Pachimari Ninjas showed that they weren't really worried about that because they ended up taking Busan anyway. So we will be headed on to our hybrid map next, which looks like Thx4Scrims has chosen Numbani. Now, we've talked about this a couple of different times here on TRC, where Numbani, I personally believe, is the most balanced hybrid map that we have probably ever seen, to be completely honest. There's a lot of different ways to attack. There's a lot of different ways to defend. There isn't just kind of one strategy fits all kind of thing where you might see on other maps like Eichenwald. Obviously, bunker is a big one. You know, holding down that choke point is absolutely huge. You know, you see the same thing on maps like Blizzard World as well. But for Numbani, there's just so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Variety, I guess, which is the spice of life, as we all know. So what do you think about that, Megalad?
I think Numbani is definitely the play here if you're Thx4Scrims, because if you look at Pachimari Ninjas, sure, it looks crazy. The 10-0, literally undefeatable. They have shown that they aren't inkillable, though. They've dropped maps, they've gone to that Game 5, and it's when you're not in the Goat's Mirror. Numbani's a map where you don't have to play the Goat's Mirror. You can play a lot of DPS. You can play the Winston on the high ground on first point. And there's just, as you said, a lot of variety that you can just kind of change and choose to help you get along this path.
I completely agree with you there. It looks like we are ready to go, so let's go ahead and see what they've got going on. Looking into the chat, NZ Coda saying, running Mercy Lucio not on well, Pepe hands. Well,
Hey.
I mean, they weren't on Elios to begin with, so I'm not exactly.
No, wait, there's not a well on Busan?
There's not that I know of. If there is, then I might have a new favorite map. But as far as I know, there's no well on Busan, so I'm not exactly for certain what they were going for with that. But looking back in the chat, it seems like it was very back and forth. Al_salt. Calling out TRL greater than Owl. And I gotta give some love for that. That is just absolutely amazing. Although I have to correct you, it is TRC now, the soft rebranding that we talked about a couple matches ago, only to comply with Blizzard standards, but we're always going to be that TRL that you know and love. That is never going to change. So let's go ahead and see how these teams are set up. Megalad, what do you see right now?
I see a lovely, lovely goats composition. I didn't know we were still on the farm with the goats. But you
Apparently
run
we
this
are.
composition on the defense here just because you do know it's not as advantageous to you on first point, but essentially you're giving up first point by picking this composition. You know you're going to lose it. You're doing this to keep your ults and give yourself a better ult economy for the streets phase.
Okay, well, if that's the goal they're looking to do, then that is exactly what we will end up seeing. Actually, a lot of compositions we've saw recently, or the bunker compositions on the high ground, where you see currently Zelaros on the Diva. Usually you'll see the bunker up there with the Batiste and the Bastion Orisa. But it looks like we're going to see the triple, nope, not triple DPS, but a dive-ish composition, except for Stutter coming out on the Batiste rather than the Lucio. So I guess you could call that a basic 2-2-2. They start touching the point, 3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock, but that's going to go ahead and get shut down quickly as the Goats composition able to move very quickly to that position, and Brainiac able to get the DMAX starting things off onto Zelaros, but it doesn't seem to do much of anything as Jeebus Crest able to take down Evan from the fight. This Goats composition, despite looking that it could be difficult to hold. Barrage! Wow! Brainiac with the big brain, giving him down with the double. Diana's able to take down Brainiac in return, but the res comes in from when Xander. Stutter takes down Dream Duck as well. And it looks like, as predicted, despite the fact that they were holding so well. They are still distracting on point. First stick has not come in. The Transcendence coming in from Introvert, as well as Brainiac ends up getting the DMAC on Zelaros. Diva Bomb coming in from 22 guy, ends up taking down Jeebus Crust as Evan follows up onto Introvert. Dreamed Up coming back into the fight, swinging that hammer as much as a Ron Hart can and try to survive. The tackle comes in, ends up missing as Brainiac getting the double onto Giannis and Dream Duck. That's first stick already on the point. It looks like they're just feeding to distract at this point as Sir Epic Goose ends up getting the boop onto Zelaros, and Brainiac follows up on Azar. That's going to be a point captured, 4 minutes 30 seconds on the clock as the payload gets its way moving through the street stage.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting there. Introvert uses the Transcendence. Obviously, he was switching at the end of the day, so it didn't really matter, but still, interesting use of Trans. And the Baptiste on the side of Thx4Scrims Esports was interesting just because, while it did give you a lot of high ground, a lot of burst healing, it gives group burst healing, so I'm not really sure how they made it work, but they did.
Yep, and it might not have been so much. Oh, I gotta interrupt myself. The quad EMP right there as the barrage comes down, ends up T-Macking Zelaros and taking down Introverted. Sir Epic Goose follows up on Giannis. Dream Duck able to get the kill onto Evan after the shatter comes down. The Reds coming in to bring Brainiac back into the fight, though, as we see Zelaros trying to chase the Far Mercy into the sky, going to end up being unsuccessful. The payload currently being held by iStutter, going to go ahead and move into its second position right now. Looking in the chat right now, oh, Diva Bomb coming in from Zelaros, ends up getting Winxander. Not a good place to be as the hack comes in. Giannis coming back in on the McCree, ends up taking down Evan as Brainiac ends up taking themselves out of the fight, and with 1.31 meters to its final destination for point 2, we're going to see it end up getting locked out by the Pachimari Ninjas. Now, what I was trying to say, AE Laser in the chat saying, did I hear DPS meta? And I think we are seeing kind of that swap in preparation for what Owl is getting ready to do to comp. So what do you think about that, Megalad?
I think the DPS here is great. I mean, especially if you're Thx4Scrims, like, DPS is where Pachimari has looked mortal, but we do have an intense...
Yes, the Nano coming in on Sir Epic Goose starts things off as Azar now back in with the far on. Ends up getting a kill in the back line. Diva Bomb comes out for the 22 guy, taking down Introvert, but the beat drop comes in from Jeebus Crust, trying to hold everything together as Dream Duck ends up falling to Stutter. The High Noon coming out right now from Giannis, ends up taking down the shield, and only the shield as iStutter takes down Giannis. Evan getting the double kill, coming back in as the McCree on Jeebus Crust and Zelaros, and will end up getting, second objective, 3 minutes 30 seconds on the clock.
And like I was trying to say, this is where Pachimari Ninjas has looked mortal. These DPS compositions, they can't adapt to it as well. They do have some great DPS with Giannis and Azar on their team, but it's still just a matter of other DPS players. The Goat's Mirror is not where you want to be against the Pachimari Ninjas.
Nope, it is not exactly where you want to be, and it's going to be back and forth between these two teams right now as we see them engaging on the objective. Azar trying to get into that backline, but right now Brainiac coming back in as the Brig doing damage. Sir Epic Goose popping the Primal, ends up getting a triple kill, clearing the objective, and I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised with the composition we're seeing coming out from the Pachimari Ninjas. You'd think you'd want to hold something. Oh, Diva Bomb! Double Diva Bomb! Doesn't get anybody the first time, doesn't get anybody the second time either. The Primal ends up getting popped by Dream Duck as Azar and Jeebus Crest end up falling to Stutter. Winxander following up on Dream Duck as Brainiac getting the flail onto Giannis and Zelaros. Evan able to take down Introvert as well, and third objective rather, will end up getting captured with just about, I believe, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see that actual time. 2 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock. And Zcoda in the chat saying massive ult.
Massive. Absolutely huge Diva Bombs. But right there, Pachimari Ninjas, essentially the switch to their Winston Goats composition was in preparation of if they got that hold. Obviously, you give up a bunch of ults to try to switch to that, but if it works out in your favor, you win that fight, you'll have a massive ult advantage and a great hold. But they don't get the hold because it's just the matter of the snowball that Thx4Scrims Esports had.
No, I completely agree with you there, and to be honest, once again, I was really surprised about the fact that they didn't hold kind of the more traditional composition you might see on this final objective point, like the Snoots or the Goats that they pulled out before on Busan would definitely have been more beneficial. Trying to distract on that final objective point, but they were trying to meet dive with dive, and it just was not working out for them. And it was kind of interesting for a team that we've been seeing swap around a lot that they decided not to do that. Looking at the compositions right now, it looks like we're going to see a basic 2-2-2 come out once again for the side of excuse me, of Thx4Scrims. On the defense, which definitely could be good, it looks like we're going to see the same, or a similar composition rather, come out for the side of Pachimari Ninjas. And since it didn't work on the defense, I'm kind of wondering why they may be doing that.
It looks like they're just trying to play into Thx4Scrims. They're trying to realize, okay, these guys are going to contest high ground with Winston, so we're going to have to try to contest it right back. But it's just a matter of Pachimari Ninjas, this isn't their game. Their game has always been Goats, so it's interesting to see them have to try to play in this new, different way.
Yeah, I'm not exactly for certain how this is going to work out for them. Jeebus Crust ends up getting the res on Introvert as they get taken down by Azar, and Evan returns the favor with a nice punch right into the Cyborg's face right there. 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock right now. Not a single tick to be had on the objective, but right now Giannis kind of scouting the backline, really trying to figure out a way to get Stutter out of the fight, and Stutter already knowing that Giannis is back there. Already to take care of that. Already just absolutely knows that Giannis is coming for that on a booty, and they're diving onto the high ground right now. Pachimari Ninjas end up finding themselves being chased off right there as Brainiac ends up chasing down Azar, coming back in as the Soldier 76. The dive comes in from Dream Duck, but ends up getting taken down by the 22 guy. We're now seeing ourselves with 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock, and I feel like either we're going to see a swap in composition or nope, they're just going to regroup, and I don't know what to feel about this.
I feel like Azar needed to stay on the Genji there. Your Nano Blade was your win con, and that's what you had to play for. But now you're just playing into what Thx4Scrims wants you to play, the Winston composition.
Oh, but there comes the Nano as well as the kill by Giannis onto Winxander. Thankfully, the Nano ended up saving Brainiac, but will end up getting taken out by Zelaros. Here comes Evan with the Tac Visor, and 22 guy with the Diva Bomb, trying to clear up the objective as much as possible as Dream Duck ends up falling to the tack. Diva Bomb coming down from Zelaros, looking to get Stutter, and will end up being successful as they start moving their way into the objective. The Primal comes out from Sir Epic Goose, looking to try to get some kills. We're going to end up seeing the res come in onto Giannis from Jeebus Crust, but it looks like that's going to be about it. EMP coming in from Giannis, gets the triple, but it doesn't look like we're going to see it much. Oh, nope. I hold my breath right there. A lot more follow-up than we expected there at the beginning. That's going to be a clear of the objective. And with 1 minute, 15 seconds on the clock, that's going to add 2 minutes, 30 seconds, making it 3 minutes, 40 seconds now on the clock to move for the payload to move its way into objective 2. I apologize. I apparently cannot talk tonight.
Unfortunately, these fights are going along, so it's definitely hard for play-by-play tonight. But as we see here on the side of Pachimari Ninjas, they do have these ults, but the biggest thing is Giannis had to use EMP to get that first objective, which, if you're Thx4Scrims, you'll take it. EMP is such a terrible ultimate in this meta. You don't want to get hit even by a second of it.
Nope, that is definitely not something. And now we're seeing the floats composition coming out now for the side of Thx4Scrims as the Nano Tac Visor ends up taking down Brainiac by Azar. Stutter takes down Dream Duck in return, though. So heals and floats versus main tank in 2-2-2. I think we're going to end up seeing Pachimari try to pull off, but will not happen. Zelaros coming in with the Diva Bomb, ends up missing as, in the back line, the Primal Rage gets slept by Introvert right there. Sir Epic Goose taking a little bit of a nap right there as we see the Primal now coming out for the side of Pachimari Ninja is going to get shut down by the 22 guys. Epic Goose takes down Zelaros as well. The Transcendence gets popped by Stutter to keep everyone in the fight, and that's going to go ahead and clear the objective. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock.
And they finally do it. I was just about to say, Pachimari Ninjas needs to take advantage of this. Goats is their bread and butter. Somber Goats, Soats, however you like to refer to it, is also in there. So they finally do switch to that composition, which should give them the advantage because Winston does not have as much damage as Reinhardt. Winston just has the cleave, which is always nice. But you never know with these compositions. The mechanical skill could be the factor.
It's definitely something could end up being pulled off. Here comes the Graviton Diva Bomb combo. Looking to do some damage. Gets the double in the back line. Takes down Jeebus Crest and Introvert as Dream Duck in as on the Rhine. Ends up taking down Brainiac. In return, looks like they've swapped over to a Goats composition when Xander taking down Iannis as they retreat back and Zelaros falling to I Stutter. That's going to go ahead and chase them off the objective once again. 1 minute, 20 seconds on the clock. And it looks like we may be seeing a rare second point hold, but I will not hold my breath just yet.
Goats, anything can happen, but the 22 guy just absolutely phenomenal. They make them think it's going to be a Grav Diva Bomb, but he throws it over the bus and gets both supports that are hiding in wait, thinking it's going to the Grav. Absolutely.
And that's actually a great strategy. We know that many times we see those healers try to stay out of line of sight. Getting into the action right now, we see the beat drop, the rally, and the primal come out. The shatter comes down, but it's not going to be enough. Giannis ends up taking down Sir Epic Goose to start things off, as well as Evan. This may be exactly what Pachimari Ninjas needs, and Zelaros ends up following up on Brainiac. It's a 2v6 fight on the objective. Make that a half 0v6 right now as we see Zelaros clean off the 22 guy. That's going to give them a little under 2 minutes to move their way into objective number 3.
But this is where it gets scary if you're Pachimari Ninjas, because your biggest enemy is not the person standing in front of you, it's now that clock. You have to finish with at least 1 second just to not force the tie. You have to give yourself a chance to win this map and go up 2-0 in the series. Otherwise, the team could just figure it out as we go.
That is true, and it looks like they're swapped over to the Goats composition. Shatter comes out, as well as the Rams. I wasn't for certain what we saw there. 22 guy getting hungry once again, as we have seen throughout the playoffs. The Diva Bomb gonna come in, look to do damage. Ends up taking down Jeebus Crest. That shield was just not in the right place as the tackle comes in. Dream Duck ends up getting the Fire Strike onto Stutter as when Xander takes down Azar. Zelaros following up on Sir Epic Goose as the fight continues on the objective. It looks like we are going to end up seeing Diva v Diva right now as the DMAC comes on to Zelaros right there. The 22 guy looking to chase them off the objective with 45 seconds left on the clock. This really is looking to be in Thx4Scrims' favor.
Yeah, unfortunately right now, because of that late stagger onto the Diva and just the staggered out nature of that entire fight, it looks as though there's no way that Pachimari Ninja is going to be able to finish this if they do finish with time in the bank. So it's going to be all on Thx4Scrims in order to finish out this match.
I completely agree with you there. 20 seconds on the clock as we see the rallies popped out for either side right now. For some reason, I thought I heard a tire, and I was like, there's no Junkrat. 10 seconds on the clock. I'm starting to hear things. I've seen so many games. The shatter comes in, ends up getting 3 from Sir Epic Goose as we see the counter shatter in the backline along with the Graviton. Transcendent and Beat Drop are dropped as Giannis gets the double just prior to that happening. Overtime ticking away right now as they continue to fight on the objective. Giannis and Dream Duck are going to end up clearing the objective of all Thx4Scrims as they go ahead and move their way into objective number 3. They've given enough time for Thx4Scrims to respawn, and they're looking to do so with ultimates online. Dream Duck, the only one having a shatter, might end up finding themselves in a bad position. The counter shatter comes out after the Graviton, but the anti-nade coming in from Stutter, looking to do some cleanup, gets the double as Sir Epic Goose follows up on Jeebus Crest. The Diva Bomb out from the 22 guy ends up getting Giannis, and Thx4Scrims are going to tie up the series 1-1 here on Numbani. And now we've got a match.
Game. Now we have it. As you saw right there, thanks for Scrims. They finally figured out the key to the GOAT mirror. They switched the on at the last second, just unpredictably, and it's just a matter of the time bank wasn't on the side of Pachimari Ninjas that entire round.
Well, I think it was a combination of things, to be completely honest with you. Pachimari Ninjas in the first area trying to match the 2-2-2 divish comp with a 2-2-2 divish comp and just not really being successful, not really playing to their strengths, which ended up running off, as you said, a lot of the time in the time bank right there. And then after that point, they were just kind of behind the entire game right there. So it looks like we are going to be moving on. Normally we would take our break here, but since this is a best of 7 for the finals, we'll take our break after this next match. We're going to be headed to Hanamura for our assault map, as has been quickly chosen by the Pachimari Ninjas. We're going to go, it looks like the Thanks for Scrims not ready just yet right there. Dirtmaster in the chat saying, Stutter, you're insane! You're insane! And it was insane. Like, the nade came in, ended up getting 4 in the Graviton, and then Stutter ended up getting 2 of the kills by themselves as well.
When you're in the GOATS meta as support, you pretty much are just like, there's no DPS here. I guess I'll get the kills.
Yeah, I guess I'll do things.
But this next map is actually going to be terrifying if you're Thanks for Scrims, because Pachimari Ninjas, Hanamura, all I can think of is May, and that's a team I don't want to face against on Hanamura.
Nope, I can completely agree with you there. I'm not for certain if they'll end up running it, but if I were a betting man, and sometimes I am, I feel like we will be ending up seeing that Snoats composition on the defense from Pachimari Ninjas to start off. I guess the question is, what will Thanks for Scrims end up bringing out to beat it? Because the only time that we have seen Thanks for Scrims kind of turn the tables is when Pachimari Ninjas isn't playing their best. And by their best, I mean their best sets of compositions. So if they're coming out on the Snoats, which absolutely ended up blowing away Thanks for Scrims on, excuse me, on Busan, it's going to be interesting to see what they come out with. They could use a dive composition. They could end up using the Symmetra teleporter to move on to the objective, which is something we continue to see very often on Hanamura. There's honestly
just you can't get walled if you're walling someone else.
It's a good thought, but the question is, who on their team would be the best Mei? Evan, maybe? It's either Evan or I think Evan and Brainiac are their 2 main DPSs as far as I remember from previous matches.
I believe you mean they're Brig and Zarya players?
Nope, probably not. Oh, possibly. I may or may not be right on that one. But nevertheless, finding someone that's as successful a Mei player as Azar has been on the Pachimari Ninjas this season is definitely going to be something to figure out right now. It looks like we're still waiting on Thanks for Scrims. So while we are, if you're enjoying what you're watching right now, please go ahead, hit that follow button at the top of your screen. Even better, hit that subscribe button, $4.99 a month, or a Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription will continue to support our amazing community. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We are the Rose Cup. You're currently in our 2nd season and the 2nd to last match of the season right now. And it looks like we are finally ready to go here on Hanamura as we go ahead and wait for the defense to show up. Megalad, do you see this as maybe being kind of a back and forth all night, or do you think that similar to the other finals matches that we've had so far, this is actually the finals? Do you think we're going to kind of see one team really take the lead here before the half?
I do believe Pachimari Ninjas is going to come out of this map with a win, but I do believe it's going to go back just because Thanks for Scrims looks like they prepared a lot. They have a lot of set strategies. Now, granted, not everything has worked, but the map pool is such a huge factor, rather, than, like, for example, as you saw in Numbani, just Pachimari Ninjas looked lost. They didn't know what to do. They were just where do we go? What do we play? And they spend a lot of that map just switching compositions. I think that if you can use that to your advantage and Scrims can edge out one of these maps that Pachimari feels safe on, then Thx4Scrims definitely has a good shot at being the first one to take these guys down.
Well, it looks like that's what they're going to try to do. The 22 guy coming out on the Widow with the rest of the team coming out on the Goats composition might be exactly what they need. If they can pick off Azar early, that will end up giving them the opportunity to move in. Oh, actually,
Switch
just
to DPS.
forget everything I just said. I mean, that is still true. If they pick off Azar, they'll be in a good position, but they're putting in 3 DPS to try to make that happen. And really, for Goats or Snoats, the composition is best when you've got that damage coming in, as the 22 guy already taking Giannis out of the fight, so it's already a 5v6 on the double boot by Epic Goose. Not good positioning for the side of Pachimari Ninjas, and within 30 seconds, we're gonna already see Objective Alpha captured, as we see Jeebus Crest going for that hard reset, just not gonna even try for that fight. That's 3 minutes added to the clock. 6 minutes, 10 seconds now to take objective number 2. Whoa!
And Thx4Scrims, they played it perfectly. You can't exactly get stopped by a Mei if all your characters can get around her wall. The entry pick onto the Brigitte, absolutely phenomenal. And the first team, I believe, that's forced Azar off the Mei on Hanamura. I mean, that's got to say something.
That is absolutely huge. It looks like they're, once again, they're trying to, or maybe not. I'm not for certain what Pachimari Ninja's doing right now. It looks like they're going floats. Now, it looks like originally they were going to try to match 3 DPS with 3 DPS, but now it's going to be floats versus this floats versus floats, actually, as we see Epic Goose taking down Jeebus Crest. Azar and Dream Duck end up taking down Epic Goose and Brainiac, as when Xander gets the boop onto Azar. Introvert following up on Stutter as they look to take control of the point, when Xander and Evan will end up being reset as well. A minute taken off of the clock, but really, with that first point taken so quickly, they're going to find themselves sitting pretty, even if they have to waste a couple minutes setting up for objective number 2.
Economy pushes. There's nothing really to worry about yet for Thx4Scrims. You do have that advantage because you force them onto that you force them into the mirror, and now you switch to Rhine. You're going to have an absolute huge advantage unless Dream Duck can get back and switch before the fight starts, which does not look like a possibility as they're engaging now.
Looking in the chat, it looks like people have caught up to the double boop, and they're like, "Oh my goodness!" Just a lot of very big surprises as the Primal ends up getting popped by Dream Duck. We're already seeing the objective looking to be taken right there, almost a first tick, as we see the team split up. Azar popping the rally as they move back in. Beat drop comes in from Xander, saving the day. Diva Bomb ends up taking down Dream Duck, caught right in the shield as the Graviton comes out. Azar flailing away, but not doing enough. Oh, there it is. Ends up taking down Xander and Evan, as Jeebus Crest Introvert end up taking down Brainiac and Epic Goose. The only one left is the 22 guy, gonna end up getting DMAxed, and Stutter's gonna get booped into oblivion right off the side of the map by Jeebus Crest. Another minute off the clock, but almost first tick. Unfortunately, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, so not really going to work well in Overwatch.
No hand grenades, there's no Junkrats on the field, but
nope, no jumps today.
On the side of Thx4Scrims, they did actually have a great plan set up there. They sent the Rhine and Zarya to the point and got the beat drop in on them when they tried to pincer effect them. It's just, unfortunately, it didn't work out for them in the best, but now we have some interesting rotations.
Yep, they moved all the way to the low ground so that they could find themselves on the left side of the map, and I'm not for certain exactly what their theory is on that. The Shatter comes in, but Giannis ends up taking down Epic Goose, and now we're going to end up finding ourselves in a very interesting set. Brainiac currently flailing away against Introvert, but will end up getting taken out in the end, as we see the double reset over the side. 2 minutes 50 seconds on the clock right now, and it seems the momentum that was initially gained by Thx4Scrims gonna be slowing down, and not in a good way.
Unfortunately, Thx4Scrims, what they have to do right here is they need to stop using ults in these pushes. They have to realize the ultimate economy on Pachimari is so great. They have to get some pushes where they just force ults out of Pachimari and come back in.
Well, here comes the Graviton out from Evan as the Diva Bomb come and Beat Drop and Graviton come out from Jeebus Crustianus and Zelaros. They're gonna, it's ultimate, V ultimate, V ultimate, V ultimate, V ultimate right now. It's who can press Q harder, and Jeebus Crust gonna get the first kill on Evan with the boop as Stutter takes down Dream Duck. Zelaros following up onto Brainiac right there, and it looks like that is gonna be enough to go ahead and push them back off the objective. Here comes the tackle! Jeebus Crust ends up getting taken down by Sir Epic Goose, but Giannis, supercharged right now, ends up melting Sir Epic Goose right in the keister. So that is going to be a hard reset. 2 minutes now on the clock, and Thx4Scrims really have no clue how they're going to get into the second objective.
I mean, I guess you forced ults, but you did use ults. I mean, you're closer to Shatter than Dream Duck is. If you're keeping ult tracking, you might have a bit of an advantage, a window where there's just a rally on the other side, but you don't have a whole lot yourself outside of that Shatter and that beat. So it's just going to be the matter of positioning and outthinking what Pachimari Ninja is going to do here.
Well, the rally already being popped on the objective by Azar as when Xander pops the beat drop in return. 1 minute 10 seconds on the clock as the Shatter coming in from Dream Duck looking to do counter Shatter. Transcendi coming out for either side to keep their team up as that counter Shatter came in. The 22 guy able to take down Azar. Now the rally from Brainiac. Will it be a big brain play? Jeebus Crest coming in with the beat drop now with the Graviton coming out in the corner. Sir Epic Goose ends up taking down Dream Duck as the Diva Bomb comes out for Zelaros, gets taken out as well as Brainiac. Azar following up on the flail with Sir Epic Goose when Xander gets the boop kill onto Giannis. It's a continued fight on the objective. 22 guy drops the Diva Bomb, ends up getting shielded by Dream Duck as Stutter ends up taking down Azar. The spawn advantage right now currently in favor of the Pachimari Ninjas with only 20 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be very difficult for them to hold on to this. Here comes the beat in as we now see Brainiac swapping over to the Hammond. Sir Epic Goose takes down Giannis. Shatter! 6-man Shatter! And here comes the cleanup. This may be what they need as the Transcendence comes in from Introvert. Overtime ticking away right now as we see the respawn of Giannis come into the fight. Here comes the Graviton Transcendence. Diva Bomb all in there. The Diva Bomb gonna avoid the Transcendence like the plague because explosions do not a Transcendence prevent from doing damage. We'll get the triple kill right there and end up controlling the objective completely for the side of Pachimari Ninjas.
Absolutely insane hold from the side of Pachimari. That was a 6-minute defensive hold right there. But I think one of the unsung heroes from this match thus far definitely has got to be Jeebus Crust. The insane boops, getting Sir Epic Goose on the other side out of position, allowing fat shatters, allowing his beat to save so many of his teammates, truly just going out of his way above and beyond to play the best of his ability.
And that's been absolutely working out for them. Now we're going to see exactly what Thx4Scrims is going to come out with to try to prevent the oncoming Snoats composition that we are more than likely going to see for the side of Thx4Scrims. Looking in the chat, One Trick Psycho saying, "I've never seen a more intense click Q fight." And really that is what it kind of came down to be completely honest. It was who could press Q harder and faster and stronger, and it was just crazy right there. It looks like they've caught up to the Diva Bomb there at the end. That came out from Zelaros that ended up saving the objective for the Pachimari Ninjas right there. Absolutely huge. It looks like we are going to see a bunker composition, which is not unheard of, but honestly, very rarely works on first point Hanamura.
I mean, at this point, you gotta hold on first. You don't believe your second point might hold. But we do have the Junkrat, so maybe that tire you heard earlier will come to pass finally.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. And we already see Brainiac finding themselves on the high ground as they got booped away by Jeebus Crust. Azar swapping over to the Doom. Whoa. Okay. So now we're going from Now we're going from goats to dive, folks. Giannis coming in on the Sombra with Azar and Dream Duck swapping over to the Genji and the Winston. They're looking to try to dive in. Introvert already ready with that anti-nade, looking to come in and prevent any healing that could come down in the bunker. Here it comes. They're moving their way in, and we already see damage coming out as Evan takes down Dream Duck as well as Introvert. The anti-nade comes down, gets a majority of the team as Stutter takes down Zelaros. The only one left on the objective is Giannis, and will end up finding themselves taking down Sir Epic Goose, but the res comes in from Winxander as they go ahead and set up on the objective. Oh, it actually looks like we've got Azar and who is that? Azar and Jeebus Crust in the back line. They're going to end up finding themselves making their way back to the team as the bunker resets up on the high ground, but honestly, I don't understand why they just didn't set up on the objective. Amplification Matrix ends up coming out for Stutter as we see Brainiac end up falling Azar on the junk as well as Giannis. And that's going to go ahead and shut down the push into first objective. Dream Duck there, but is just going to get melted by Evan. A Winston bullet sponge, if you will.
Pretty much. And Giannis closing in on that EMP. That means it's on 22 guy. He has to scout him out before he gets that EMP even close to this bunker, because bunker forces you to play so grouped up. But as you do see, Stutter is up on top with the Baptiste trying to hide out of range.
Oh, here comes the tire. Where is it going? Who's it gonna get? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it's Dream Duck. Oh, and Azar ends up getting taken down by Stutter, looking to defend fellow Brainiac on the high ground right there while in tire mode. I gotta say, that is the worst time when you end up getting taken out while you're in tire, trying to find the good positioning. And it looks like Evan and the rest of the team, you see them turning around knowing that Giannis has got to be nearby. They're just waiting for that EMP to get popped. But as you see, Stutter. Oh! 6-man EMP! That is huge as Jeebus Crust ends up getting taking down Evan. Double kill from Azar as Dream Duck popping the Primal comes in, takes down Stutter. 1 minute on the clock, and Dream Duck and Giannis will follow the 22 guy and Brainiac, clearing the objective with a minute on the clock. Exactly as Megalad had predicted. That's going to give them 3 additional minutes. Now 4 minutes on the clock to move into objective 2 and get 1 tick.
Giannis absolutely big brain that EMP, because he not only caught the bunker, he found where the Baptiste was lying thanks to Azar scouting on the Genji, and was able to get him to prevent any Immortality Field shenanigans as we get back to the fight here on the objective.
Oh boy, seeing the boop go up on Sir Epic Goose was interesting, but that ends up being advantageous as they take down Dream Duck, the 22 guy following up on Azar, as Stutter ends up taking down Jeebus Crust. Now let's go ahead and point this out, folks. If Pachimari Ninjas does not end up finding themselves taking the tick on this objective, we will have a draw, which means that we're going to find ourselves in an interesting position for this set. And it's going to be whoever essentially gets to, I believe that the tie ends up counting as the as a tiebreaker match, so to speak. And so it's going to be whoever gets to that third win first. So it's really confusing. We've worked it out, but honestly, my brain's not all here today. So I'm going to... Oh! EMP! Diva Bomb as Evan ends up getting taken down by Zelaros. Giannis followed up on by Winxander. Looks like we don't have to worry about that happening as they go ahead and move into the objective. The Transcendence gets popped by Stutter. The Nano going on to Giannis. I'm not for certain what that was all about. As we see now, Sir Epic Goose swapping over to the Hammond, making their way back into the objective. We see Zelaros currently on the high ground looking to try to pick off anyone and everyone that's near the objective, and despite how incredibly well that was played out, it looks like we are going to end up seeing the Pachimari Ninjas get cleared of the objective as Brainiac takes down Zelaros. Giannis still on the objective, already has another EMP online. I might have spoken too soon. we might be seeing another EMP come in to start this fight all over again as Azar swapping over to the Pharah, looking to earn up that barrage. Might be able to clear the objective a little better than we saw before.
And unfortunately, Pachimari Ninjas does have a huge advantage because there's going to be a bunch of resetting on the side of Thx4Scrims. They had to switch to stall characters. They only have that one tick to contest. They can't give it up no matter what.
That is really what they've got to do. They do have the spawn advantage in their favor, which does help. And Evan swapping over to the McCree might be exactly what they need to be able to hold on to that. The B-drop comes in from Jeebus Crest as well as the EMP gets the quad. The B-drop comes in from Winxander trying to save the day, but 3 are already down in the fight. Can they distract as much as they did before? It is a 3v6, 1v6 on the objective with 50 seconds remaining. Giannis ends up taking down Winxander as the Transcendence comes out for iStutter. That first tick so close to being taken as Giannis getting the double onto Evan and iStutter. The rematch comes in for the 22 guy as Giannis ends up taking down Sir Epic Goose. Diva Bomb coming in from Zelaros ends up taking down Winxander, and that is going to be the second victory for the Pachimari Ninjas going into the half 2-1 here in the Diamond Final.
Giannis, absolutely fat EMPs, and then like I was saying, Jeebus Crust allowing a lot of setup on a lot of the side of the tanks. But if your Thx4Scrims, not at all is lost yet, you're only down one map, plus you brought a team that was very confident on Hanamura to the brink, so I think there's still a lot you can take away from this.
I want to give some love in the chat right now. It looks like Acker was like, can be hype without killing my ears, and I was kind of asking myself before people started typing. It's like, you've got a volume slider too, buddy. It's just like lower the video a little bit. I'm the hype guy. If you've never been here before, Captain Jack is always on that hype. So just keep it a little low if you want to save your ears. If you want to feel like you're at a Screamo concert, then by all means crank that sucker up. But all right, we're headed into halftime right now. Megalad, do you have anything to kind of add about what we were seeing right there? It was a really close match, despite the fact Pachimari Ninjas ended up taking it in the end. Thx4Scrims really playing well as a third seed.
Yeah, definitely. Thx4Scrims, like I said, their key to this is going to be not opting into that goat smear. It's going to be to play their own game. And they seem to have come in, like I said before, with a lot of preparation, so they have to use that to their advantage in order to get this.
All right. Well, it looks like we will have to see if Thx4Scrims can go ahead and tie it up after the half. It seems like we really are going to see this back and forth, but normally what we see after the halftime is whoever takes that second match before the half, it starts kind of going downhill for the other team. So I'm really wanting to see that back and forth. We haven't had one yet in the finals. I want to see if we can get to that map 7. So folks, the Rose Cup will be back in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Take you like a sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down.
thinking now you overreacting. Hate that shit with a passion. Yeah. Have a little self-respect, don't wanna put you on blast, but you should go ahead and practice. Shut the fuck up right now and let me breathe. Shut the fuck up right now, let me do my thing.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing match here at the Rose Cup. I'm your play-by-play Captain Jack, joined by Megalad on the color roll this evening. Megalad, what are we seeing tonight?
We're seeing an actually close matchup. Obviously, the scoreline being 2-1. You think Pachimari has a big edge. Numbani looked rather... While it was 2-3, there definitely was a lot of confusion on the side of Pachimari, and Scrims definitely had an edge. And as well as Numbani, Hanamura was super close as well with that 2-1 scoreline. So I think we might have a very interesting back and forth here.
I really hope so. We're going to be headed to Dorado for our escort map, moving into our fourth match of the evening. Now, what we saw on Numbani, Thx4Scrims able to pull it off in the end with quite a bit of very good strategy. Now, this time around, not going to have that first objective to kind of be able to waste time on. So definitely will be interesting to see how this all turns around for them, if they're still going to come in on that GOATS composition. Right now, it looks like they're coming out with the 6 DPS comp, which is known as the S GOATs, the super greatest of all time. 6 DPS right there, so just so you all know. No, they're probably trolling us. If they come out, I will eat my hat. I don't have a hat, but I will find a hat and I will eat it if they will literally walk out of spawn with 6 DPS.
Someone PM the team.
Ah, there we go.
And there's the Zarya. And that's where it all goes down.
There we go. It looks like they're going to go
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
bunker-ish without the
Bunker without the Bastion.
I hate to do this because I told my wife I would never use this, and it's not going to be the same, but this is boats. I'm going to coin this as boats. This is bunker goats coming out with the Orisa and the Batiste. This is bunker goats right here, folks. And I can't believe that I'm actually seeing it. My wife laughing in the background right now. And she's like, you had to say it. And I have to say it. This is exactly what we're seeing right here. Iana's taking down the Immortality Field to start things off right there as they are trying to hold the choke. Stutter coming in with the charge shot onto Dream Duck right there. And that is going to go ahead and allow Thx4Scrims to go ahead and push past the choke point. And I've got to be honest right here, Stutter popping off, ends up getting Iannis as well on the Soldier 76. And that's going to be, again, a first objective captured within about a minute as they go ahead. Oh, almost! Here comes the dive in from Pachimari Ninjas as Jeebus Crest taking down the Immortality Field. Anti-nade coming out from Introvert as the Amplification Matrix gets popped off. Zelleros able to take down Brainiac right there. Here comes the Nano onto Dream Duck, but not going to be able to catch up to, will catch up to Sir Epigoose. That's just about it. Orisa just so slow. Just can't get away. It just happens. And that is going to be a first point hold for now.
Yep, 4 legs isn't an advantage. It's really interesting both sides of the composition because you did have the boats as you know what, I'll live with that coin. That's a good coin right there.
I mean, I really didn't know what else to call it at that time because it's like bunker, just without the Bastion. It's all goats with the bunker.
Interesting. A huge shatter.
Oh, the shatter comes in, takes down 2, but the cleanup coming in from Azar in the backline. Gonna quad kill with the blade. Make that quintuple, taking down the 22 guy. First team kill ringing loud and proud tonight as the Pachimari Ninjas looking to hold this first objective point with 1 minute, 40 seconds on the clock.
Pachimari Ninjas on the upside, you get that team kill bell. The downside, you used 4 ults to do it. Don't know if that was exactly necessary, but it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to the ults on the side of Thx4Scrims.
Oh, well, here comes the double Graviton as the Diva Bomb comes down. from the 22 guy ends up getting Jeebus Crust as Sir Epic Goose follows up onto Zelaros with just about a minute 15 seconds on the clock. It looks like the cleanup gonna be coming in from Thx4Scrims, and they're gonna grab objective number 1, giving them 3 minutes 30 seconds on the clock to move it into objective number 2.
And now you're in that goat's mirror once again. If you're Thx4Scrims, you either need to finally turn it up to that 11 out of 10 and play out of your mind, or you need to switch off this composition and find a way to just defeat the goats, because goats is where Pachimari reigns supreme. They want you to play goats against them because that's where they're the most confident and the most cool.
And that is exactly what we're seeing right here. The Shatter comes down, gets 2, counter Shatter comes in, but Green Duck able to charge past it, ends up getting Winxander. Azar following up onto Brainiac right there, as well as Sir Epic Goose, and that is going to go ahead and push them all the way back to spawn. Iana's able to pick off Evan just before getting in the spawn doors right there. Looks like the chat is caught up with us. Paradox in the chat saying, Nuts Blade. Nuts Blade. Coach Cheon also saying Blade and Visor off Shatter.
All of the ultimates. We all click Q. We gotta win, right?
Oh yeah, Q for W. Q for W. Here comes the rally as Brainiac pushing in with the rest of Thx4Scrims, looking to get some picks, if at all possible. The flail going back and forth right now as we see the charging ults on the side of Pachimari Ninjas working their way up right now. We might be seeing a Graviton Devo combo coming in very shortly, and so we see the rally coming out from Azar along with the Graviton from Evan, looking to follow up on that. It is a 6 ultimate. It is the press of the Q coming out right now. The shield goes down for Sir Epic Goose, but no one falls as the beat drop comes in for Winxander, pushing into the objective. The anti-nade comes down. Shatter gets the double right there. 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock as the 22 guy able to pick off Jeebus Crust after the beat drop comes down, as continue to fight for the objective as I Stutter taking down Azur. I Stutter on I Stutter as the DMAC comes out for Zelaros. I Stutter will also end up taking them out of the fight, and the payload moving its way forward once again. 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock, but the fight is far from over right now as we see them pushing in once again. The Shatter comes down, ends up getting 2, but not the follow-up. Gonna get grabbed in the grab as Dream Duck getting the triple. Zelaros following up on Sir Epic Goose. The only one left is Evan, and another team kill will ring loud and proud for the Pachimari Ninjas with 60 seconds left on the clock.
And this is what I meant. Unfortunately, well, you did get that slight fight win that gets you the payload just a tad bit further on the side of Thx4Scrims. It's just a matter of Pachimari, they play goats. They know the composition. They know where they can get the sneaky shatters in. They know where the grav can go, where a D.Va can't stop it. And it's just hard to play against.
All right, D.Va Bomb coming in right now. Doesn't end up getting much of anything, unfortunately. The 22 guy looking to come in. The Shatter coming down from Dream Duck as the beat drop comes in to counter. Giannis ends up taking down Brainiac. D.Va Bomb from Zelaros doesn't end up getting much of anything as the fight for the objective coming down to this only. Giannis ends up taking down Winxander. Shatter from Sir Epic Goose. Can they clean it up? It looks like it will not be possible as Azar comes out with the rally. The Transcendence and rally will get popped by I Stutter, and Brainiac. Zelaros ends up taking down Sir Epic Goose as the Graviton ends up getting eaten by Zelaros. Dream Duck follows up onto Evan with the tackle, and Jeebus Crest taking down the 22 guy. It looks like we will be seeing a rare second point hold for the side of the Pachimari Ninjas. The only one left on the point is Winxander, trying to hold as much as possible, but overtime will tick away as the Graviton from Giannis will hold Sir Epic Goose in place.
Yeah, and right there, I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's just the ult usage from Pachimari Ninjas was insane. They were patient with their play. They didn't exactly stress, worry, or anything. They just knew, hey, as long as we can just wait it out, we can play safe, play our corners, we can sneak things in where they're not expecting it. And that's just the level of play that Pachimari Ninjas have been able to keep up consistently all season.
And that's exactly what we're going to see moving into their attack now here, excuse me, on Dorado. Now again, we saw something similar happen for them on Numbani the first time around, they were able to get, or we ended up seeing Thx4Scrims get to that final objective, but we were not able to see Pachimari Ninjas do the same. The question is now, can Pachimari Ninjas, now that they've held that second point, will that be enough for them to go ahead and be able to take this map in their favor and possibly set them up for the victory here this evening? Now, just so everyone knows, if you're not aware, Pachimari Ninjas is kind of seen as the home team right now for the Rose Cup. They started off in Season 1. They've been incredibly impactful throughout the entire 2 seasons that they've been here. And a lot of people in the chat, if you're not noticing, are rooting for them. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Thx4Scrims can maybe shut this down.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see, especially because they continue to opt into this Goat's Mirror, so hopefully they can keep the mechanical.
Well, it looks like now we're going to see a bunker coming out from the side of Pachimari Ninjas. Azar able to melt Sir Epic Goose, but when Xander takes down Dream Duck in return, the res comes out for Jeebus Crest, though, as they go ahead and move their way back, letting the payload get a little bit of distance. They're going to move into the side room and try to hold until Sir Epic Goose comes back, but they weren't able to catch the payload soon enough right there. Azar on the objective, pushing it fervently forward as Baptiste already with the amplification matrix. Evan able to take down Jeebus Crest, and Sir Epic Goose comes back into the fight. We're going to see the rally get popped by Brainiac. Giannis with the 5-man EMP, and now tank mode from Azar, looking to do some cleanup. Ends up taking down the 22 guy after the DMAC from Zelaros, as we now see the nano onto Sir Epic Goose. iStutter getting hacked in the backline right there, but will end up trying to take down Giannis as Azar ends up falling and swapping over to the Doomfist. 2 minutes 45 seconds on the clock right now as Jeebus Crust, as the Mercy ends up taking down Brainiac right there. And we're going to see an anti-nade come in, ends up getting on Azar, but not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. Graviton coming in as the Halt holds everybody together. That may not be exactly what they wanted, as the Shatter comes in. Dream Duck able to take down Sir Epic Goose. Another amplification matrix from Introvert as Azar ends up taking down Evan, and this may be what they need to take first objective as Azar again taking down Evan at the beginning of that fight. It looks like that was about all they had. Pushing back, Zelaros ends up taking down Brainiac, who is trying to retreat, and with 2 minutes on the clock, we may end up seeing them grab first objective, which is going to be rough for the side of Thx4Scrims. Oh, just barely. 1 minute, 6 seconds on the clock. Dream Duck and Zelaros taking down Winxander and Sir Epic Goose. The Immortality Field trying to hold up the team, but gets taken down by the 22 guy as the punch comes in. Azar smacking 22 guys Mini Diva right into the gate, and that's going to open it up as they move into objective number 2. Giannis already with another EMP online.
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting to see just the compositions that they're trying to run here. iStutter does get that in that fight right there, a huge sleep on Giannis in the background. However, it just left the team split. Half the team trying to deal with the sleeping Sombra as the bomb comes in.
Looking in the chat right now, the bomb comes in. Zelaros ends up taking down Brainiac as Azar and Giannis follow up on Winxander and Evan. Sir Epic Goose following up on to Dream Duck in return, but will get taken down by Giannis. The only one left right now is iStutter, who was currently fighting on the high ground against Azar, but will end up getting taken down by Giannis as they fall to the objective. 3 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock, and looking back in the chat, it looks like they seem like we're biased, but honestly, I was just kind of pointing out information that people may not know. I really hope that either side gives the best that they can. Diva Bomb coming in right now, ends up taking down the Immortality Field by Introvert, so it's beneficial in a way. Gianna sleeping in the backline right now, trying to take down Stutter as we see the Meteor Strike and Valkyrie come out. Stutter ends up getting hacked right there as the res comes in for Azar. Evan is able to take down Jeebus Crust in return for punishing that res, as well as getting Azar, who is currently anti-nated. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock right now, and it looks like Pachimari Ninjas are going to back off as Giannis once again, after that fight, has the EMP ready to go.
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting, especially with the fact that they're sticking on the Sombra, but they also have the Orisa. They do finally change it here. It looks like they probably might switch to a Zarya as well here soon enough. The full-on goats. But to be fair, these teams have been evenly matched. My personal prediction for this match was actually going to be 4-2 for the side of Thx4Scrims Esports, just because I believe they could bring out enough wacky compositions to throw Pachimari off.
It will definitely be interesting. The EMP, though, coming out from Giannis, as well as a Diva Bomb from Zelaros, doesn't end up getting much of anything, but Azar and Dream Duck will clean up regardless. The Shatter coming down from Sir Epic Goose gets absorbed as the Sleep Dart ends up going down onto Dream Duck. The payload moving fervently forward ends up getting stopped by the 22 guy, just trying to distract as much as possible, but will end up being unsuccessful. 1 minute 25 seconds on the clock right now as Pachimari Ninjas move their way into the final objective point right here. We see now Sir Epic Goose going with spin to win on the objective, trying to hold on as long as possible. The Graviton ends up getting popped by Evan, but Zelaros will clean up Ice Stutter as Dream Duck follows up on Evan. The Shatter comes down as again we see Sir Epic Goose surviving with the B-drop now coming out. EMP! Quad EMP from Giannis, looking to clean up the objective and will be successful. And again, with that EMP will be a victory for the Pachimari Ninjas. 3-1 now in the series for the Diamond Division Finals. Azar, of course, with play of the game, that quintuple blade that we saw at the beginning of their defense.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to see. It looks like the DPS players, Azar and Giannis, are just, they're definitely playing at their peak today, especially with blades like that. But Giannis specifically on the EMP, on Sombra rather, not on the EMP. But it's just been playing overall great, and just truly it looks pretty hard to beat them. Like, there's just not a whole lot you could do against that Sombra, especially in this composition meta that we're in.
And it's, I completely agree with you there. It's just the meta that we're in, and that's the thing that Overwatch has always been about, is whatever the meta is. If you're good at the meta, you're gonna end up being really good at it. I think the thing that I've been surprised about is that we've seen Ice Stutter on the Ana for many a time during this evening, but I think the thing that's kind of getting outplayed right here is Introvert's Ana as well. I just see a lot more anti-nades coming on to Thx4Scrims than vice versa on Pachimari Ninjas, and honestly, that's really what it comes down to when you're in this GOATS healing meta. That anti-nade can be so huge if you end up finding yourself being able to jump onto the team to follow up on the anti. That's really what it's going to call it out, if you will. And right now, Pachimari Ninjas are really the ones that are following up in that sense. Honestly, the Doomfist was kind of surprising to me. I've seen Azar play it before. It has worked. And so we are going to be moving on to... We're going to be moving on to our second control map now, as we've already been through the first 4 that we normally go through, but this is a best of 7 this evening. Night of Knee in the chat making a reference to the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I love you, dude. It's pizza time! We are ready to go as we head to Nepal for our next map. This normally would be our tiebreaker during the playoffs, but since we're in the finals, it's just going to end up being our next control map. Now remember, on control, Pachimari Ninjas found themselves working very hard and was able to take that very quickly with a 2-0, and this is it. This is where we have seen so far, if teams have made it this far, this is where we end up seeing a team either win or lose when it comes to the finals, and it's all here on Nepal. So go ahead, start blowing up the chat with who you all want to see it take it away. Do you want to see the normal everyday that we've been seeing in all the finals? Paul decides the victor, or do you want to see Thx4Scrims really put their heels into the ground and bring us to a map 6 and or 7 as we continue to fight out this Diamond Finals? I am really interested to see how this is going to go down. How about you, Mega Lad? What do you want to see?
I definitely want to I want to see Thx4Scrims just absolutely keep on these DPS comps, keep Pachimari Ninjas on their toes because it's where they're best. Busan, yes, it was a 2-0, but one match was 99-99 in the end, and the other, I believe, was 60% to 100.
Well, as you said, that DPS comp proving to be beneficial right there as we see the triple DPS. 22 guy coming out on the Hanzo already getting the pick on Azar as Mei, which as we know is pretty much the biggest part of their composition. Brainiac able to take down Jeebus Crust right there, but it looks like Pachimari Ninjas almost getting the objective in their favor as the 22 guy ends up taking down Dream Ducks for Epic Goose, and Brainiac following up on Zelaros and Introvert. The only one left on the point is Giannis, and will end up getting taken down by Brainiac as well, and just shy of actually getting the objective as the res comes in for Winxander. Thx4Scrims will end up taking the objective in their favor and starting their percentage climb.
Yeah, and definitely, like I said, the DPS comps, it's just a matter of Pachimari Ninjas, they don't adapt quickly, and their DPS play, Giannis has proven in the past he's good, and Azar at the same time, but on very niche heroes, on very specific points, it's always got to be to your advantage to keep your enemy on your toes and keep them off of comfort picks.
Well, it looks like that's what we're going to see as they try to match composition. Giannis takes down Evan as the McCree, but Brainiac and 22 guy follow up on the far Mercy for the side of Pachimari Ninjas. And it looks like right now Sir Epic Goose looking to try to take down Giannis, but they're not going to fall without a fight, and Winxander is going to be the one to lay that last domino, so to speak. Looking in the chat right now, it seems like a lot of people right now are cheering for Thx4Scrims. They want to see us move on to this map 6 or 7 right now, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to see that as well, as we see Dream Duck right now being caught kind of out of position, ends up getting hacked by Evan as the 22 guy uses a Storm Arrow to take them out of the fight. 60% and climbing right now as Zelaros takes down the 22 guys. The barrage comes out for Brainiac taking down Giannis, but the res comes in for Dream Duck by Jeebus Crest. Winxander following up on Introvert, who swapped over to the Moira, which is the first that we have seen this evening as Sir Epic Goose follows up on Dream Duck after that res. The only one left near the objective right now is Jeebus Crest, and will be, as Sir Epic Goose explained, roadkill. Ha ha.
Gotta love when the Hammond's the one doing the roadkill. Hamster versus human, clearly the hamster wins.
91% right now for Thx4Scrims as we see Dream Duck currently touching the objective just to get that overtime ticking away. EMP out for Zelaros this time around. Ends up getting 3 as the 22 guy getting the double on the objective. High Noon ends up taking down the 22 guys. Zelaros ends up getting Evan in return. That EMP not going to be useful. Dream Duck ends up following up, or getting res by Jeebus Crest as Zelaros gets followed up on by Winxander. Sir Epic Goose taking down Giannis as the minefield ends up getting popped for Dream Duck, trying to take control of the objective. Here comes the Coalescence out from Introvert, trying to hold the Dream alive as much as possible, but EMP! Oh! They get pushed off the objective 100-0. Thx4Scrims holding their way in this fight right now here on Nepal, taking the first map in Village.
Definitely 100%. Obviously, you can let her number it up in chat if you want, because that's exactly what it was right there. The EMP spooked them off the point, but that was the first time this series I think we've seen a dominant performance from one of these teams. It's been a lot of back and forth between both these teams, but right there, Thx4Scrims just knew that they could outplay them in the DPS mirror, and that's all they had to do. Now let's hope they can keep the momentum up and ride this out to a win on Nepal.
All right, well, we're headed now to, I believe this is Sanctuary for Nepal. So it's going to be interesting to see how they set up on this. They, it looks like they're going your basic 2-2-2 on the side of Thx4Scrims versus Goats for the side of Pachimari Ninjas. Both teams really playing to their strengths right here. The question is, who's gonna end up taking it right there? The chat catching up to the end of the last match, calling out a C9, but I can't say that was necessarily a C9. I have to say the spook of that EMP definitely would push anyone off the objective, as we already see the objective being taken by Pachimari Ninjas, 6% and climbing. The fight is far from over as the slam comes in. Sir Epic Goose ends up getting tackled by Dream Duck after the stun. Brainiac already having the barrage on the line, ends up getting eaten up and taken down by Zelaros right there. Not a good position to be in, as we see Sir Epic Goose continuing to fight along the objective. Azar ends up using the flail to take down I Stutter, but that might be all that they need to clear the objective. Sir Epic Goose retreating back to the safety of the team as they try to regroup for their next push. 35% in climbing for the Pachimari Ninjas.
Yeah, and a lot of people do tend to run far on this point. I personally don't enjoy it, especially against the GOAT's composition, because in order to finally use that barrage, you're gonna have to get a lot lower to the ground as the EMP starts in the fight again.
Oh, but here comes the 6-man EMP, and the Dragon Strike out for the 22 guy. Have been able to follow up on Giannis as Dream Duck ends up tackling Brainiac a little too far to the ground. Here comes the minefield, but a lot of it getting stuck in the air. So how much damage will it do? Sir Epic Goose taking down Jeebus Crest as the Nano comes onto Dream Duck. The Shatter comes down but misses. Diva Bomb for Zelaros taking down the 22 guy in the backline. 72% and climbing as Dream Duck gets the Fire Strike on to Evan right there, and that is that is going to be enough to continue to hold on to this.
Yeah, definitely. You use 2 ults to begin that fight, EMP Dragon, and all you get out of it is a single melee kill onto Azaria. It's not going to be enough to turn the fight. You have to be able to use everything. Barrage is going to be huge here, as long as it doesn't get eaten.
Yep, let's see if it can. Dragon Strike coming in from the 22 guy, looking to try to get something at very least separate the team. The barrage comes out from Brainiac, but gets swept and flailed in the air. Goodness gracious, Azar. We're gonna see the tackle coming in from Green Duck, but gets stunned, booped out of the way as we see Giannis take down Winxander. Overtime ticking away right now, and it looks like the Pachimari Ninjas really want to finish this up right now. The Graviton comes out. The only one left near the point is I Stutter, but not able to touch soon enough. 100-0 now in favor of the Pachimari Ninjas as we move to Sanctum.
And just as I said that there was only one dominant performance in this match, Pachimari Ninjas decides to go prove me wrong. This is it for Thx4Scrims.
Hold my beer. Hold my beer is the statement they said.
Anyway. Oh, you thought you could cap? Oh, well, we're just going to do it a little bit better. But right here, like I was saying, Thx4Scrims, you know, we keep saying, oh, this is it when they made the finals. This is their chance. They have to prove it now. This is really where they have to prove it's all over. I definitely believe they can do it. It's just the matter of believing in themselves and not letting the GOAT's composition take advantage of them.
And honestly, GOAT's composition is not what we're going to end up seeing. It looks like we see a triple tank composition for the side of Thx4Scrims with Brainiac on the junk, which is huge. You want the boost on this side. As for a floats composition coming out for the side of Pachimari Ninjas. Not exactly for certain what they're looking to do with that. It is good to have that mobility, but if you ain't got boops or anti-nades, as we see right there, oh, maybe I spoke too soon, as Giannis ends up taking down Sir Epic Goose. Brainiac following up on Azar, and Zelaros returns the favor on Brainiac as Winxander boops Giannis into the pit of despair. Jeebus Crest gets the punch kill on I Stutter. In the backline is a 3v3 fight on the objective right now, as we see the Remac come in for Zelaros, but the DMAC for the 22 guy and kill by Dream Duck rather. And that is going to be a capture of the point by Pachimari Ninjas as they move their way back into the backline. Dream Duck going to take down Brainiac right there and start their percentage climb, 7% and climbing.
And right there, I Stutter lands a fat anti to start out that fight. Unfortunately, there was just no follow-up with the composition. Junkrat was just busy doing Junkrat things in the corner. He can't really aim those grenades unless he's a foot away from the target. It's just going to come down to working together as a team when the antis come in to shut this down.
They've got to make it happen. Sir Epic Goose getting the pull on Introvert. That may be what they need as the Primal gets popped by Dream Duck. Diva Bomb coming in from Zelaros, looking to get a kill, makes it a double. As when Xander and Ice Stunner fall to the Diva Bomb, it's now a 4v5 fight near the objective as they push them back to spawn. Zelaros gonna end up taking down Evan right there. 42% in climbing for the Pachimari Ninjas.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that you lose that fight. The Primaling Winston is a terrifying thing, especially with a Cliff Edge. You're using the Cliff Edge to your advantage, but the Tire can hopefully get an initiation pick.
Let's hope that it will, as it works its way into that back line, looking to find out. Somebody ends up taking down Dream Duck as the 22 guy follows up onto Jeebus Crust as well. That's making that a 4v6 fight, moving into the objective. Iana's able to take down Brainiac in the back line, though. Interesting to see Azaria all the way back in their spawn, to be completely honest. B-Drop and Bongos coming out for Sir Epic Goose as the B-Drop now coming in for Jeebus Crust. Diva Bomb from the 22 guy as Introvert ends up killing Ice Stunner with the Sleep Dart. Zelaros following up on Sir Epic Goose in the back line as Giannis getting the double onto Xander and the 22 guy. 90% and climbing right now, and it looks like, Thx4Scrims, you did great. You fought valiantly.
Evan's still here with an EMP.
Oh!
Still here.
Oh! Evan touching the point. Can they do it? 4-man EMP as Dream Duck takes Evan out of the fight. The 22 guy coming back in as the Hammond as Giannis takes down Xander. This may be possible. It could be. It really could be. The boom coming in as the 22 guy takes down Introvert. Diva Bomb coming in for Zelaros. Doesn't get anybody as Dream Duck and Azar following up. And that's it. Pachimari Ninjas, similar to all the other matches, finals matches we have seen, will take away the Diamond Division Championship title. Dream Duck with play of the game in the final match this evening. Coming in with that fat nano and just swinging and fire striking and swinging and touching everybody.
Absolutely everybody. Pachimari Ninjas just not only a phenomenal GOATS team, knows how to play the objective rather well, keeps it always going, always on. And Overwatch is an objective-based game at the end of the day, regardless of how you play it down in silver or gold. You just gotta, unfortunately, if you're not on the objective, you don't win.
Yep, that's really the way that it comes down to. But honestly, Thx4Scrims put up a very valiant fight. I mean, it was
4-1 does
back
not
and
show
forth.
the justice.
Oh, it
4-1
does not do
show the
justice at all. Compared to all the other finals matches that I've watched so far, Thx4Scrims by far has had the closest margin between themselves and Pachimari Ninjas in the Diamond Division for their close this match was. As we've said before, the score did not do it justice. Let's go ahead and take a look in the chat and see. It looks like we had a rip audio. Something happened to the audio. Is it all fixed? Okay. Hopefully they were able to get a player of the matches down. Oh, we'll go. I'll go ahead and pop that in the chat. Player of the match. Salt saying you made me sweat just watching the match. Thanks for Scrims. And hey, I was watching too, so I completely understand what you're saying right there. Zelaros given player of the match to Giannis for spawn camping.
That's a pretty good reason.
And I've got to be honest, I was really surprised to see Giannis in the backline as the Zarya of all people in the backline there on Sanctum. Like, that is not something you commonly see, is a Zarya on their own.
Are you implying that Zarya's too big to flank?
I'm not. Whoa! I'm not saying that Zarya is too big to flank whatsoever. But what I am saying is that for some reason, when I think of people that are getting in the back line, Zarya's just not on the top of that list. To be completely honest.
What are you talking about? It's Tracer, Genji, Zarya. Those are the ones I expect.
Tracer, Genji, Zarya. Oh, okay, it makes sense. I must misconceptions this whole time. And it looks like Dirtmaster gonna give love to Sir Epic, Goose, and Ian, as well as Salt giving some love to Giannis as well. Dream Duck coming in with some love for Giannis, giving some love to their own team right there. Absolutely incredible work by all these players this evening. Again, if you enjoyed what you saw this evening, go ahead and hit the follow at the top of your screen or hit that subscribe button, $4.99 for a Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription. We'll continue to support this amazing community, and we have one match left. Megalad, did you know that? We have one match left.
I'm literally crying.
I'm sad a little bit too. This was my first season here. I started at the very beginning. It started from the beginning. Now we here, as they say. I think it goes like that.
Something about the bottom might be in there.
Something about the bottom, the beginning, whatever. But our final match for the season is going to be an exhibition match. As you all know, we had some issues with our Grandmaster division. Didn't end up seeing any of them really have a finals match, to be completely honest. So we're going to have an exhibition between the Grandmaster champions Hardbots and the Masters champions, also undefeated, similar to Pachimari Ninjas this season, Scared. So I don't know about you, but it really doesn't seem to compare that it's Masters versus Grandmasters. Only the fact that Scared was in the Masters division. But I think of all the games that we're going to see this season, this is going to be a really close match. I really think that Scared's going to...
Scared's got something to prove.
I really think that they do, and this is just for glory. This isn't for saying that, will Masters beat out a Grandmaster team or anything like that. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. We're preparing videos. We're going to have a panel of casters that evening, and we're going to be looking to try to get you all involved in the chat as much as possible. So please join us Sunday night, which will be July 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to First Night of Neat for producing our match this evening, and Megalad for joining me this evening as well. This has been absolutely incredible. We will see you all this Sunday. Until next time, I'm Captain Jack.
And I'm Megalad.
And we will see you all next time.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you